Hello and welcome back to coverage of Super High Rollerball 5. The final table is still going on behind us. Unfortunately,
oh, is it?
Unfortunately, Igor Kurganov no longer with us at the final table.
Am I not?
He is here, they are there. However, there was one hand.
Thanks for rubbing it in.
Yeah, I mean, some friendly banter, it has to be possible at this level.
No, it's cool.
Anyway, there was a great hand that was very interesting and very exciting that you played with King 8. And I just want to tell you guys at home about this hand because Igor has some explaining to do here.
Pays it off.
Not a straight.
Picks it off. Foxen. #1 player in the world on the GPI, and we're starting to see why, Ali. Tremendous hand.
Igor, please start at the beginning.
Yeah, I totally have some bloody explaining to do, apparently. I had King 8 suited and Foxen has raised the hijack. Ike calls the small blind at 10-15 blinds. 10k, 15k, Foxen makes it 35. Ike calls 35, I call 35. We have 120k in the pot. The flop is 965 rainbow of not my diamond color, unfortunately. Ike leads 30 into 120, 25%. I go, I call. Obviously.
Never folding there?
No, just no. do we raise or not? And Foxen makes it 110, which is a tiny, weeny, meeny raise. It's like the pot is 120 plus 90 dead, 210, and he puts in 80 over 20 to 210. It's like 38% pot. 38% pot. Ike folds his garbage ace queen. And I wonder what to do, and of course the play is a fold, but we got some other plans, right? We decide that maybe we're gonna raise it up sometimes, and so I decide to raise it up sometimes because
that's what I was getting at. You gave me a very lengthy explanation of all the reasons why you should fold and why you should raise. But what was the final thought that made you raise?
Well. The final thought that made me raise, I just thought through the things, and like obviously my general range is still fairly weak. I have a lot of like medium to weak hands, and he has a lot of like medium to strong hands, but when we go up to like the top parts of the range, then I cover him. I have all the strong range and he doesn't, because I have 16 combinations of 7-8 and he has only 4, now 3 that I have an 8. So that's very good for me.
Explain that for the people who have lost you at this point.
Because he never opens 7-8 offsuit, Ike never flats 7-8 offsuit, I defend 7-8 offsuit 100% of the time passively with a call, I defend 7-8 suited 80-90% of the times with the call, and they raise and flat 7-8 suited, like let's call it 100 worst case percent of the time. So that gives me 4 7s, 4 8s, boom, 16, gives them max 4, I block one of them, I'm happy. So I can definitely flat Ike, and I do that. I randomize before if I flat or not, and I would do that with all the hands. I have all the 2 pairs, they don't. I have 5-6 off, they don't. I have 6-9 suited, 5-9 suited, they don't. That's only 2 each, but like also 5-6 off is 9. Like I have a fuck ton of hands.
So there's a lot of hands still in your range that you can represent.
At the top range, I'm crushing both. Like, so I think my play here is like fold a lot, because like I have a lot of bad stuffs, and the main question here is like, okay, clearly I have a continuation range of like, I have the top part of, I have the strongest hands here, so like I want to put in more money with those, and that just basically simply tells you by counting those combos how many you're allowed to have as bluffs, or supposed to have as bluffs rather, so that your value it's called at times. So like,
you put in the raise.
I decided to raise my King 8 suited like 25% of the time, and I hit the 25 and I put in the raise, and I only needed him to fold like 45% of hands, which seems like a fair proposition to me. Anyway, he called, turns a jack of hearts, bringing a flush draw with the 9, check, check. River is an offsuit 6. which is a weird one. I don't think he has that many sixes. I think he has no sets now anymore. By the way, that's also why I raised the flop, because I felt like he would choose other sizings, which is a read and exploitive type thing. He will say, no, I'll do the same. But like, don't trust the guy. Just like, whatever. Everyone pretends they always do the same, but there's a lot of 10 fucking bet sizes, right?
But then on the river, you said that, of course, talk us through the action as well, but you said that you were confident at one point that he was going to fold, and then it changed, and then it went back, and then it went forth.
Yeah, the timings are a thing. Like, within the first 30 seconds, I expected a chip to be flung in.
But because you
Then
bluffed
a minute in, I was like, oh, maybe I was shot. He threw in the second timing and still hadn't called, and I was like, oh man, now we got him. He's just gonna fold. And like, I thought maybe he'll raise, and then I saw he didn't raise it like mid-minute, and then it was like 3 fucking minutes in, and I was like, okay, I'm just toast. But that's not really the strategy consideration. That's just the internal life of seeking winning moments in a very desperate fucking situation. Yeah.
But the way the board develops after he calls your raise on the flop, there's still a lot of merit to bluff the river.
People would assume that I should have sixes here, which I think is like, he cannot discount me having 6 X's. Like, I could have 6-7, 6-8, 4-6, something like that. Are all reasonable type of bluffs, semi-bluffs rather, for me to have. As it goes, it's more reasonable than the bloody king-8 suited I had. But if you feel like he folds 45% of the time, then why not? And like, I felt like he was just so medium strength weighted, getting to the river after his check back, not mixing in enough check backs with anything strong, that I just felt good that I should bet a frequency, and I decided to bet. I'm not sure if I chose my hand combination correctly for the smallish size. I'm not sure about the size.
Is this a hand that you will be running back through the solvers when you get back to your room? And at this point, do you feel happy, and do you think you could still change your mind later on?
Do I look happy?
I mean, you're out, but that's sort of the thing of poker, right? No results-oriented thinking.
Thank you for joining me in that. No, I will not run it through the solvers, and neither will anyone else, for a very good reason, which is there are no solvers for post-flop fucking everyone is in the pot solutions, and it's new territory to still being ventured, so let's figure it out slowly by just like playing some street. Whatever. Well, whitest guy alive, so like I don't know why I just went there, but it's okay. We're there now.
Street Poker by Igor Kurganov. And what you're saying is we need more 3-handed and 4-way action on the flop and on the turn on the river, because that way the solvers can't get to us.
That's right. And distribute some drinks. Like, clearly it's more fun.
Yeah, this guy needs another drink. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more coverage on the Poker Channel YouTube channel. This is coverage of Super High Rollerball 5.